Hello, Brian McCarthy here from Bold&Break. Today I am going to talk about how to stay busy, employed, and find work during a challenging period. Economic uncertainty, AI, and a tough job market is making it challenging for everyone. I've been very fortunate to be busy in the past year, but some of that luck has been created by setting daily tasks and goals for myself, some of which I am going to share with you today. Despite all the doom and gloom, video ads are still being made and a huge amount of money is being invested into experiential design. Experiential design is like the Las Vegas Dome, for instance. So design and motion design is moving into different areas, and that is important to note because there's still stuff being made. It's just a difficult period. But let's get into it. I'm going to share some of the tips and tricks I do to try and stay as busy as possible. So, how to give yourself the best opportunities? The first thing you need to do is network with humans in real life, ideally. People always say, just network, but they don't tell you how to network. You can start by setting aside 1 to 2 hours to meet with someone every week, ideally in person, but doing it over a video call is a great way to do it also. And if meeting a complete stranger is a bit daunting to you, just try and start small. Meet a colleague, a friend, an ex-colleague, an ex, someone you went to college with, or a family member. What it will do at its very core is wonders for your mental health because you're getting out of the house. You're reminding people you exist, and that is a very good thing because you don't want to be forgotten about. You want to remind people you're out there, you're being productive. It just keeps you ticking over and it keeps you busy. And when you go to network, just see it as a chat, especially if it's someone you haven't met before. Don't go into these meetings with an expectation. People will pick up on that very quickly and it will kind of send red flags. It will give them the ick. Like if you go into a meeting with someone you haven't met before and you feel they're trying to get something out of you, there's something psychologically you can tell straight away, right? And something is going off in your head. It's like, this isn't right. So just go into meeting people without any expectations. Stay positive and keep the conversation about things that you both enjoy. Keep it valuable to the two of you. Don't try to be always extracting something from someone else. The other method, and the most uncomfortable method for everyone, including myself, is cold outreach. And there's a plethora of ways to do this. But the standard way is via email. I'm sorry to say, but you need to be able to sell yourself and you need to be able to do some cold outreach. A designer who can sell themselves is worth their weight in gold versus the talented genius in the corner that is difficult to work with makes the best looking work. They both have, their positives, but the person who can, reach out, network, and sell what they do is much more valuable and can pay the bills. That's just the way it is. And that goes for working in places. If you work in an agency and you can sell the work you do to clients, I mean, the agency's going to love you, right? To get a deeper grasp of how to do cold outreach, I highly recommend a book called, you've probably heard it before, The Freelance Manifesto by Joy Corman. It is a treasure trove of tips and tricks of how to do cold outreach. And the biggest thing with doing cold outreach is finding the right person to email. You can do this through a multitude of online tools. One of the best tools is called Voila Norbert. I will leave a link of all the tools I've used in the description below. You need to do a little bit of investigating, which is again a bit creepy and icky, but LinkedIn, find the project manager, find the creative director, stick it into these tools, their names, what they do, where they work, and it will try and conjure up an email. And then you need to craft an email, which is a whole skill in itself, and a subject line to see if they open it. Now, to get them to open it is a skill. To get them to read it and reply is a skill in itself. I am going to make a separate video on this and do a deeper dive, but the number one thing you want to do when you craft these emails and a subject line is to find something relatable to them and to make sure you don't ask questions in the subject line or the email. Remember, you don't want to start any relationships with expectations. By asking people a question, you're kind of putting an unintended pressure on them to reply. And again, that feels uncomfortable for people. That question mark makes them feel they have to reply back or they owe you something. And Psychologically, it doesn't really work. The best thing you can do is remind people you're here and you are there to help whenever they may need it. And, just reply whenever. I can follow up another time. I'm going to make a separate video on this and dive deep into crafting emails or just doing cold outreach. It's something I'm still learning, so I'm not a master at it. There are probably people on YouTube that are far better at it than me, but, I can give it a go. What else can you do? You can remind people you exist by posting online, engaging online. You don't need to add to the LinkedIn cringe fest that we all have to endure. You just got to be a bit authentic. It's hard to be authentic online because everyone's trying to be something that they're not. That's just kind of the human nature of how we're built. But my advice here is to document, share your work, share it in a really positive and productive way that shows clients that there's value in getting you on board, whether it's a full-time job or freelance work. When you engage online and LinkedIn, try to avoid delicate debates, arguments, and political discussions. I myself have very strong political beliefs and, opinions, but it's not going to pay the bills, especially during a wealth inequality crisis. See what I did there? Try and stay positive, voice your opinion, be authentic, all that stuff. Just keep reminding people you exist. And when you document your work, it's hard to sell yourself. How do you sell yourself? This is a whole problem I'm still trying to learn myself. Selling yourself is a hard skill that you've got to learn over time. A mistake a lot of designers make, including myself, is selling the novelty of the work, not the outcome, not the goals, not the achievements of the work. We're selling the aesthetic and the novelty and the coolness instead of selling what actually clients want to see. What were the outcomes? How many people watched it? What was the feedback? What was the engagement? Did shoe sales go up? Did the sales of my service and product go up? Did it educate people? Talk about those very tangible outcomes and goals of most projects that you will have created. Look for something to sell. If you can't find anything specific, look for maybe a business problem that it solved. Did it educate more people? Did it explain a product or service and that helped the company sell more subscriptions? Something along the lines of that. That's what people really, really care about. And if you can document your process as well and sell that, if you have a really clear, authentic, transparent process, project managers, clients, they love that. They're going to go with someone who has a positive attitude and a clear and concise process. You can produce the best work, have a messy process and bad attitude. No one is going to want to work with that. Finding incredible designers, motion designers, graphic designers is not hard anymore. The myth of let the work sell itself doesn't exist. It's a damaging myth. You can sit there all day. No one's coming into your inbox, no matter how good the work is. You've got to put yourself out there. The last topic I want to talk about, and it's a bit controversial, but it's important, is to not look desperate. And there are so many debates, especially on LinkedIn about this, whether to have the open to work banner, whether to have the desperate banner. If you were looking to hire a plumber because your plumbing system was completely knackered, broken, would you hire a plumber with their logo and had a little ticker under their logo on their van saying desperate for work? You probably wouldn't, because you're wondering, why are they looking for work all the time? That's not to say don't be authentic or lie about being busy. You just don't have to show all your cards. There's a good psychological premise behind this, and that allows employers, clients to take advantage of you, to get you down on your price, get you to race to the bottom. Everyone should have their cut-off price. And, if you're very desperate for work, yeah, there are times you have to come down and maybe alter your price to places you are uncomfortable doing that. Try to not show your cards as much. You'll be taken advantage of. We live in a very business-orientated economy, and everyone's looking for the best deal. And if you show that you are desperate for work, they will get you to give them a better deal than if you didn't. Because someone who comes across as confident is also likely to give confidence to a client or employer that they can do the job. If you're desperate, it just sends off red signals. Rightly or wrongly, that's another debate altogether. That's just the way I guess people are wired or society is wired. I'm unsure of what the right terminology here is, but I do know that if you look busy, people do flock a little bit towards that more than looking desperate. So just be careful of how you frame yourself, especially on professional platforms. What can you take from this video to stay busy and give yourself the best opportunities? Set daily and weekly tasks. 10 emails, meet 1 or 2 people a week. Maybe create a list, do 10 cold emails, get 10 new leads, and document 2 new projects. I think that will help you be busy. It will send out positive energy and vibes to the universe, and it will just make you more productive, and you can look back and see what you are achieving. I hope this helps. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm excited to see if any of these things work for people who try them. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.